In a tweet, he wrote, quote, "Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life." And in this video, he described the virus this way.
This was a blessing in disguise.
Mr. President, I tested positive for COVID-19, and 3 months later, I'm still suffering significant symptoms. So I can tell you, it's not a person's choice if the coronavirus dominates one's life. It just does.
That is a clip from CBS Sunday Morning a few months back, featuring our next guest and our good friend, talking about his fight with COVID and urging folks to take it seriously. Paul Mecurio is an Emmy-winning comedian and hosts his podcast, The Paul Mecurio Show, with guests like Paul McCartney, Kevin Costner, Stephen Colbert, Kristen Chenoweth. I could go on, but I want to talk to him. For the last few months, he has been very vocal, and thank goodness he is, about his battle with coronavirus. Please welcome back to our show our good friend Paul. Good morning, Paul.
Hey, Jason, how are you? I miss you so much. I wish I were in person with you.
I know. I miss you too. Let me ask just the obvious question. How you feeling? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm what they call a long hauler. I got it 6 months ago, actually performing at a comedy club in Florida. People weren't wearing masks at the table. I'm tired all the time. I lost my sense of taste and smell, which still hasn't come back really. But there's an upside, like for lunch, I'm having paper, it's, low in calories, high in fiber, it's, look, I'm not a preacher of any kind, but please take it seriously. It's not like the flu. People tell you it's like the flu, and it's the farthest thing from the flu. And so, some people get out of it quickly. Some people end up in the hospital. Some people are in the middle like me. And I'm tired of being tired. I feel like I'm 95 and need to hear my stories. Like that's kind of what where's my Jell-O?
Yeah.
Well,
I've read several articles and then the 60 Minutes piece on long haulers, and it scares me, frightens me, and fascinates me all at the same time. What is the aspect that's the hardest, Paul, to get used to? Is it the fatigue? Is it the fact that, I've heard a lot that even mundane activities like walking down a stair is Herculean sometimes.
Right. I'm about to fall asleep right now. And it's not because you're boring.
Yes, I get it.
No, it's the fatigue. We had I'm in the East Coast of New York. We had some beautiful snow. We went sledding, my wife and I and some friends. A little hill. I walked up the hill. I went down once. I had to sit down and I had to rest at the bottom of the hill. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of feeling tired. I mean, the styrofoam peanuts that you pack with, they're great for popcorn, for movies. But I mean, other than that, there's no upside to this. And so that's the thing for me. Also, I have inflammation in my joints. So I've been going to a physical therapist because I'm having trouble, bending my elbows, and they think what happens is that the virus attacks the immune system attacks the virus, and at the same time is attacking organs and joints, which is why you hear about inflammation issues that people have. And so it just it just nags at you, it just is always kind of there. And I'm home all the time, and my dog, it's Daisy. It's funny because at first she was like, "Hey, you're home all the time," and then she's like, "Wow, you're home all the time," and then she's like, "You're annoying. Could you not be home all the time? You really." So and then living in New York's been, everybody's been hit by. We got hit hard in New York, then it kind of came back, and New York's been weird. It's been like a blizzard hit New York, only there's no snow. It's quiet all the time. A lot of storefronts are closed. I don't like the quiet. It's weird. It doesn't feel like New York. So what I do every morning at 6 a.m., I get a jackhammer and I just jackhammer around New York City just so I feel like...
just to make it feel like New York in 08 or something, yeah.
But can I just tell you, there is some normalcy because two cab drivers got in a fist fight like about a week ago over a parking spot, and they got out of the car and they started to go at each other. And then one of them realized they had to be 6 feet apart. So he ran back, but then he was swinging his arms and he'd run back and he'd swing his arms. It was like a COVID fight. It was hilarious. But
Paul, one of the things, that I wanted to ask you, because it's that frightened me, not frightened me, but made me think in that 60 Minutes piece was, when we go to the doctor, if we have a headache or we have whatever, we can go to the doctor, and probably 90% of the time the doctor can say, "Oh, you have this. well, here's what we can do, A, B, and C. That is not the case with individuals like yourself. The doctors don't know about the long hauling. Am I right on that?
Yes, thank you for depressing me. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
The doctor in that 60 Minutes piece, Dr. Dana McCarthy, is my doctor.
Oh, wow.
She started a COVID long hauler program because she was at ground zero when New York blew up and was dealing with a lot of COVID patients. And that's exactly right. This is the conversation you go in. You go in, you say, I'm tired all the time. Yes, we hear that. I had shooting pains throughout my body, which is true. Yeah, we hear that. People describe it like a shot. And I had lost my sense of taste and smell. Yes, we heard that. It's like, and 2 frogs crawl out of my ear every Wednesday. Yep, we've heard that. Like everything that you can think of, right? And then you go, why? And they go, we don't know. It's too early. And then they go, because we don't know how to treat it. And that's the part that is the most upsetting. I just had a conversation 2 days ago with my doctor, Dr. McCarthy. I said, I'm tired. Have you developed a pill yet? Anything? And they said, no. So I'm doing breathing exercises to kind of calm my system down. But you hit it right on the head. They mean well. Plus, my doctor got COVID. So really, how good is she? She got COVID. You know what I mean?
Paul, God, I love you. Okay, we're not going anywhere because we have a lot more to talk about. And on the other side of the break, what is comedy like? Obviously, Paul can be funny, but what is it like? What is it like in a pandemic and more? More with our buddy Paul on the other side of the break. Stay with us, everybody. Back in a moment.
And I met Jay Leno at a private function, and I went up to him with jokes that I had, and I said,
What was the private function?
It was a big printing company that invited our law firm to this big opening.
Oh, okay.
And he basically, I handed him the jokes, and he was like, okay. He really does talk like they're letting helium out of a balloon very slowly. And then 2 days later, my phone rings. It's like, it's Jay Leno. Is Paul there? And I thought it was my friend David pranking me. And I go, yeah, really funny, David. And he goes, no, it's really Jay Leno. And I said to Jay Leno, you do a lousy Jay Leno.
Welcome back. That's our guest, our buddy, Paul Mecurio, talking with Stephen Colbert about how he switched careers from Wall Street to stand-up comedy. If you don't know this, Paul is also the warm-up guy for Colbert. The two knew each other from their time on The Daily Show. I'm sure you've talked to Stephen, from switching studios to doing the home shows. What has he told you? What has it been like trying to still man these late night shows in what can only be described as the most depressing 12 months we've ever had?
Well, you really are depressing me. I got to be honest. No, I think the word Stephen used is I lost the will to live. I think that's what he said. You know, what you do is you find ways to find funny because it's our job. But I also think, not to get too schmaltzy, we kind of need to laugh in the midst of all of this. So you have to find it, right? Like, you know, when I worked at The Daily Show, we were doing Clinton impeachment stuff day in and day out, you know, and you know, granted that was a little sexier than this, but still, like and look, Trump, whatever I don't care what your political leanings are. This isn't about that. It's just, he gave you a lot of, there was like a lot of red meat on a silver platter, right? In terms of, it's almost in a way, it was like trying to make fun of professional wrestling because some of the actual facts were funnier than any joke you could come up with, right? And now people say, well, now he's gone. Can you be funny? It's like, yeah, look, all these politicians are all ripe for parody and satire, and the way Washington's so dysfunctional. I mean, even the insurrection, and that was terrible. And it was so sad that people lost their lives. But there is comedy in it. Like they arrested this woman who took Pelosi's laptop. And her lawyer said her accusations were overstated. What does overstated mean? What, she left the power cord behind, so you should let her off? Like what? Like, and then what does she think she was going to find on the laptop? Like, it's Pelosi's laptop. There's probably pictures of like her grandkids, coupons for Bed Bath and Beyond, and Mitch McConnell's head like photoshopped on a turtle's body. That's it. That's all you're going to find on that. And then there's the QAnon shaman, that guy who's in his 30s and lives at home with his mother. Like, what was his day like getting ready for the insurrection? Ma, did you see my horns? Oh, I can't find my horns. I told you not to move my horns. I mean, who's an insurrectionist gets arrested and then wants organic food in prison. Like, you're in prison. Hormone-free lamb chops is not your biggest problem. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, so I think you got to find it and know where the line is so that you're not offending people that were harmed in a situation. So it'll be there, but
yeah, you got to find the funny, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask you. Every age with Clinton gave comedians a bounty. I mean, it was a never-ending buffet. Yeah. Even before that, people thought, once Vice President Quayle left, what are the comedians going to do? And then,
right.
You know what I mean? And then right. Mr. Bush, and then Mr. Obama.
Right.
There's always going to be something and someone to kind of poke fun at and
right.
pop the balloon
right.
a little bit, so to speak.
Right. And you can tap into your own, like people say to me, like your own experiences and what's going on with you. Like people say to me, well, I haven't performed since March. Last time I did a full weekend of shows was in Omaha in March, and that's when everything blew up. That day when everything got shut down, I'll never forget. I got on the plane in the Omaha airport. There's like 6 people. That's it in the boarding area, and then they make the announcement. You know the announcement, how they usually go through it slowly, like if you're military, please go, and travelers with children. There were so few people. It was like military, people with children, old people, fat people. Hey, you over there at Starbucks. Everybody, we need people. We need ballots. Jason, there were so few people on the plane. There were 7 of us. We each got to fly the plane for 15 minutes. It was like, why not?
Paul, I don't think we should say that out loud. I think maybe we'll cut that in editing, Paul.
Right,
we'll
right,
cut.
Right.
Well,
no, it was, but yeah. So I think you asked a really good question. I think comedy is really needed now, and again,
Yep.
not to sound like whatever. I just think you have to kind of think about it, but it's there, and I think, as great as Biden might be, there's going to be a lot coming out of this administration, I'm sure, to poke fun at.
Absolutely. We wish you nothing but the best. You truly are one of our favorites, and we love you, buddy.
Love you, man. Miss you, and hopefully we'll get that. I love your studio because you have all those people there. Your audience, they're usually drunk, but they're really nice people. And
we don't discriminate, Paul. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you, buddy.
No. Yeah, I miss you guys. Take care.
We miss you. We'll talk soon. Follow Paul on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to search for Paul Mecurio, and check out the Paul Mecurio Show wherever you get your podcast. Truly, one of the best. I mean, in 6 years, when he comes to the studio, he comes to play. And if you've been in the audience when Paul's here, you know it.